You're listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We are the energy bolt your real estate business needs to get you up and out and excited and productive for the day. We go over trending topics and things that really matter in the market of the moment. Here are your hosts, Tiffany Hampton and Brooke Silva.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Thursday.
Wow.
The shortest but longest week of the year.
You know, I was feeling that this morning as I left the house and it looked like it was 1 a.m.
Yep.
I was trying to find some positivity around a very bleak, dreary morning.
Yeah, I know. I don't like the fact that it's still dark at like 7 o'clock. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a park, like
Yep.
the street lights are still on. The city was dead. That was the only thing. Driving this, my positive is when you drive into the city as early as I do, you don't hit a ton of traffic.
Yes, that's a beautiful thing. All right, so we're talking about learning and training and effectiveness and mindset and fearful and fearless. All those words.
Yeah. A ton of words. Yeah, because we're over goal planning. But goal planning is done. We put it to bed yesterday. We're past planning. Now we're active. And one of the ways we have to get closer to our goal is by making sure we have the right training and education mindset under our belts.
Mm-hmm. Well, and this business specific real estate, I'm sure others too, you train as you go. Like you don't know what you're doing until you get a piece of business. You can get that overview, but unless you're in business, you don't really learn.
And no deals are the same. There's not going to be a client are never going to act the same way, have the same needs, wants, and desires. So when newer agents just want to get that deal under their belt because they think it's magic, in a way it is, but no two deals are the same. No two clients are the same. No two transactions are the same. No market is ever the same.
Right.
Ever.
Right. So when you and I sit down and decide to train, you know, KW really shares with us the 4 needs of any agent, right? And it's knowledge, it's the attitude, the beliefs, the thoughts, and the feelings. It's the skills, and it's the behavior and habits, right? And I would argue the second one, the attitude, the beliefs, the thoughts and feelings, in my opinion, is the most important.
Agree, because if you sit down in class with a poor attitude, no matter if you're 5 years old or 5,000 years old, you're not going to get out of the class what you need. You're just not.
Right. And we have agents that want to know it all. That want to know it all.
Are know-it-alls.
No, they want to know it all before they take action.
And what do we do? Those perpetual learners, right? We know what I call them, and we're not going to go and sit on the podcast. You have to sit in a live class to hear my thoughts on that one. But you can't learn for learning's sake. You have to learn for doing's sake. And it's our word this year, right? It's action. So if you sit down in a class and you don't do anything with it, you've wasted your time. I'm going to keep training. You're not wasting my time, but you've got to do something with it. And there's no way you can implement everything in a class that you learn. But you can take that one step forward we were talking about yesterday. And because if you don't role play, if you don't try, you're not going to solidify your learning. That's why everything we do is action-based.
Right. I was teaching a class yesterday, and it's like one of our first basic classes, and somebody said, this class is too advanced for me. I don't even know how to do a transaction. And I'm like, you're not going to know how to do a transaction until you get an opportunity to do a transaction. We can teach you an overview, You can go and you can learn the contracts, but to actually know the transaction, you have to lead generate and build relationships and let people know that you're here to support them and help them in real estate.
And what's interesting about that is that those are the people who are going to be our like they're just going to sit in class until they think they're perfect, till they've got it. And then that first client is going to throw them a curveball, because we can show you what may happen, but we cannot show you what's going to happen. Our crystal balls are broken. We cannot see the future, but what we can do is prepare you on how to handle different situations. But at the end of the day, what we do is relationships. And if you can build relationships and maintain and build trust, that is the biggest piece. Are there going to be times where clients are yelling at you? Yep. Is there going to be heat? Yep. Is there going to be great times? Yep. But having the relationship is the key factor in any transaction.
Yep.
Not just the housing market, not anything else. If they trust you to get them to the table and get the closing, you've won.
Yep. So what would our affirmation be today?
You're allowed to learn.
You're allowed to learn.
You're allowed to learn. It's my mantra in life. And you're allowed to learn, but let's take it one step forward. You have to do something with it.
You're allowed to learn in action.
In action. You've got to take action. Could you imagine if new drivers, they only ever did book work and simulation, they were given their license and they get out on the road?
Yeah, no, we won't even go there with I have two kids. The first one, I don't even remember how she learned how to drive. The second one, I'm still traumatized. The third one, yeah, I'm going to pay somebody.
Yeah. I've been through it a few times now.
But yeah, could you imagine? Could you imagine if they just did book work and they got on the road with their license and had no action training?
Because I know there's laws, right? So if we think back to driver's ed, I went to driver's ed a long time ago. There were no simulations. It was this horrific printed workbook. I sat in a classroom, but it was classroom for the first part, driving for the second, every single class. So when my kids took driver's ed, they had to take a certain amount of classes first, then get on the road. I've never understood that. My middle son struggled so bad because he had to try to remember all the things from the book a month ago and put it into play today. No sense. Made no sense to me. He's one of those, I have to actually take what I've learned and put it into practice immediately. Mm-hmm. And that's what we need to do.
Absolutely. So our action item for you is, you're not going to know it all, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and that's okay. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Agree. And you have to admit that you don't know some things.
Yeah. And nobody's going to know what you don't know, because there's great ways to make statements, right? That's a great question. Let me get back to you. I want to do a little research so I give you the best information in today's market.
Yep. There's all these ways to overcome objections. There's all these ways to ask questions, to dive deeper into something. Like if we have 100 million ways to answer something. Sometimes answering the question with a question is okay, because you're digging deeper into the motivation and the final end goal. Sometimes people I know ask me questions to derail me because they don't like the questions I've asked them. So I've had to get really good at asking more questions and it also tells me I did not ask the correct question, or I may not have used the correct words to match the person who was in front of me. But now I've gotten to a point where I've been around so many agents that I know when somebody's trying to deflect, ask questions or avoid questions and learning, because it is painful sometimes to learn. It hurts. As an adult, to sit down in a classroom and admit you don't know something is not easy.
Right.
But you are surrounded by a whole bunch of people in the same boat as you are.
Yep. All right. So what do you want their tech action to be?
So you've got your goals mapped out. We put them in the system. I want you to speak to the leadership and create an education plan to make sure that whatever's on your 411, you have the most knowledge to go into action on those things. So if you put expireds on your action plan as a lead gen, and you've never called an expired or heard someone call an expire, you better find the class, or you better find the person that is the master of it and take them out for coffee.
Absolutely.
But you got to create an educational plan, and unpopular opinion, you don't have to go to every class. Not every class is going to make sense right now.
No.
You're going to get a lot. You're offered so much at KW. We have so many educational offerings, but they may not make sense to you. But if leadership says to you, I think you should sit in this class, it's for a reason. Listen to us, trust us that you're going to get something out of it. But you can't come to the market center and from 9 to 5 every day be a student for 6 months. Your business is not going to move.
Right. And be comfortable being
Really,
uncomfortable. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So put that educational plan in. And you know what? The classes may not be right inside the market center. It may be a virtual class, or it may be something outside of the market center that, you know, the boards offer, or a title company or a mortgage company. Yeah, just seek the education you need.
Right. So the question that should be asked is, based on my 411 and my business plan for this year, does this class meet the needs for that? And if it's a no,
Right.
It's okay.
Yep. If it takes you out of your 20%, or it's something you can leverage out or use a tool for to do, doesn't belong.
Yep. All right, my friend. You're teaching today.
I'm teaching Cultivate to Cap, which is a fabulous class about staying organized and never missing a beat when it comes to helping your clients.
And I'm teaching the 3rd session of Ignite, which is Know Your Market.
Wow. Know your numbers.
Know your numbers, know your market, know the language of real estate. So we're going to have fun. All right, Miss Brooke, I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day, Tiff.
Bye.